Chinese gatecrashers at U.S. bases spark espionage concerns, as FBI tracks over 100 incidents of Chinese nationals posing as tourists to breach U.S. military sites. Attackers accessed UK military data through high-security fencing firm's Windows 7 rig. 174 indigenous artifacts from Groot Eland returned after decades in Manchester Museum, but several hundred still remain. In Australia, facility accused of exorcisms and gay conversion practices applied for funding a month after Morrison announced it. Charlie Hebdo denounces the possible return of the offensive blasphemy to Denmark. It is serious that a European country decides to restore this medieval crime. For the first time since the beginning of the Russian-Ukrainian war, Armenia sent humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Belgian defense says F-16s no longer fit for Ukraine. Military expert claims Belgium not providing Ukraine with F-16s over fears of escalation. Wagner to be declared a terrorist organization by UK. Political disputes explodes in protests and deaths in Iraq's Kirkuk city. Singapore elects crypto-skeptical ex-central bank chief as president, who advocates one regulatory system for crypto and traditional finance. Report reveals 6 Bitcoin billionaires, 88,200 millionaires built wealth through cryptocurrency. RCMP investigates ex-RCAF pilots reportedly training China's Air Force. Number of Canadian pilots seeking to fly in higher-paid U.S. cockpits tripled in 2022 as staffing shortages bite.
Amid dispute with Spectrum, Disney tells Charter cable subscribers to consider Hulu with live TV option. Nathan Lewis Jackson dies. Luke Cage and SWAT, writer-producer, award-winning playwright was 44. Longtime ESPN reporter, NFL insider Chris Mortensen reveals he has retired from TV network. Whoopi Goldberg misses The View's season 27 premiere after COVID diagnosis. Martin Scorsese's next movie will star Leonardo DiCaprio and take place on the high seas. Supernatural creator Eric Kripke hasn't seen residuals from Netflix.
The Rolling Stones set to release first new album of original music, Hackney Diamonds, in nearly 20 years. New music, new era. Nirvana reissuing In Utero with 2 unreleased live albums, 53 unreleased songs for 30th anniversary.
Conservationist group African Parks to free 2,000 southern white rhinos into the wild over next 10 years. From South Africa Park, Texas A&M-led scientists cryopreserve and revive coral fragments in a world first for conservation.
Alligators mysteriously appear in Pennsylvania's Kiski River. Air pollution prevents pollinators from finding flowers, study shows.
Per survey, Germans prefer to go to the museum than in the disco. French government intends to prohibit denominations as vegetable steak or vegan ham. Elon Musk blames Jewish organization, ADL, for loss of revenue, says he opposes anti-Semitism of any kind. Catapult, German social sciences magazine with visual explanations, is insolvent. Tether Holdings becomes the world's 22nd largest U.S. Treasury bondholder, with $72.5 billion. China's slowdown means it may never overtake U.S. economy, forecast shows.
Visa expands stablecoin settlement capabilities to merchant acquirers. Following a Crypto.com issuer pilot, Visa expands stablecoin settlement capabilities with Circle's USDC, adding pilot programs with merchant acquirers WorldPay and newsworthy, and utilizing the Solana blockchain.
Former Bills WR Mike Williams passes away at 36, after steel beam fell on his head, in construction accident. In China, Zhejiang woman receives over 500 stitches after dog bite, after her face was bitten. Spanish women's football team coach Jorge Vilda sacked in wake of Rubiales' kiss furor, and Spain women appoint first female coach after sacking Jorge Vilda in wake of Luis Rubiales' kiss furor. Coritiba announces the hiring of Jose Rodriguez, former PSG and Real Madrid.
Actors and writers strikes, dual WGA SAG, AFTRA strikes could cost Warner Brothers up to $500 million in 2023 earnings. Bill Maher criticizes WGA strike, calls demands kooky. Nobody owed a living as a writer. Trump's Treasury Secretary Mnuchin's firm buys stake in Lionsgate Entertainment.
Pakistan may lay claim on name India if Modi government recognizes it officially at UN. India's Modi government wants to change the name of India into Bharat. In special session of Parliament on September 18, Defence Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, says India a dangerous word, slams opposition bloc. 200 women in UK and now take legal action against Bayer over Isher sterilization device. Israel sees 30% spike in daily COVID cases, health ministry says. 14-year-old boy dies after eating spicy Packwood chip under one chip challenge in U.S. New ordinances in Texas would ban driving through cities and counties en route to abortion care. Chinese netizens mock U.S. sanctions following Huawei chip breakthrough. Huawei's new chip breakthrough likely to trigger closer U.S. scrutiny, analysts say. Australian government website to name Australia's lunar rover is globally available to accept naming recommendations. Mustafa Suleyman, the co-founder of Google's AI division DeepMind, says, everybody will have their own AI-powered chief of staff over the next 5 years. Last year, Mustafa Suleyman has quit Google to become a venture capitalist. In Florida, as Hurricane Idalia caused flooding, some electric vehicles, including Tesla's exposed to saltwater, caught fire. 4 Okta customers hit by campaign that gave attackers super admin control. Recently, Okta warned social engineering attacks targeting super administrator privileges. Nearly a third of men worldwide are infected with genital human papillomavirus, HPV. YouTube under no obligation to host anti-vaccine advocates' videos, court says.
Nintendo doesn't plan to announce Mario's new voice actor ahead of Wonder's release. Microsoft to stop forcing Windows 11 users into Edge browser in EU countries. Facebook is getting rid of the News tab in Europe.
UK's Premier League and game audio to be shown in new program on Sky Sports. Cricket set to be included at 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles.
Prankster plants fake nudist sign at popular non-naked Loyola Beach. Fake sign has been removed from Chicago Beach. 2 workers arrested for digging shortcut through Great Wall of China with excavator. United Airlines grounded flights for an hour after a bad software update. During Storm Daniel, 516 millimeters, 2 feet, of rain fell in Greece's Agorapelion in few hours as torrential rains and flooding batter Greece after wildfires. The same amount of rain fell in Greece, which fell in Germany in a year. Greece and Cyprus are working with Israel on AI technology to quickly detect wildfires. Venezuela's President Maduro seeks Chinese money to revive country's oil sector. 2 years ago, it had been documented that Venezuela needs $58 BLN to restore crude output to 1998 levels. China to launch $40 billion state fund to boost chip industry.
Mercedes-Benz, Europe likely won't be ready for all-electric sales by 2030. Mercedes will make electric baby G-Wagon, CEO says. The Spectre effect means more classic rollers are being electro-modded. Last year, Rolls-Royce officially unveiled fully electric Spectre, sparking bold new chapter in luxury.
Mini officially ditches manual transmission, despite internal efforts to save it. Spanish brand Seat to stop making cars by 2030, Volkswagen CEO confirms, and a new rule set for Seat as rise of Cooper continues.
U.S. Open fan thrown out after being accused of quoting most famous Hitler phrase, Nazi-era national anthem, at German player Alexander Zverev. U.S. says North Korea will pay a price for any weapons supplies to Russia. 61 training center activists indicted by same grand jury that indicted Trump in Georgia on RICO, racketeering charges connected to Stop Cop City movement. Far-right network Onan Chanel Ryan settles 2020 election defamation suit brought by ex-Dominion executive. Stray movie is based on the video game Ice Age Movies director's next film. Ago at Annapurna, the company which released the game, they stole my novel. In Kyoto animation studio Firecase, man admits setting 2019 blaze that killed 36 at Japanese animation studio. I went too far. Stray animated movie in the works. A Japanese startup, Serenix, is selling ready-to-move-in homes, 3D printed in less than 24 hours, small homes for $37,600. Airbnb, Blackstone to join S&P 500. Apple to launch low-cost MacBook Series in 2024. To rival Chromebooks, Apple signs new agreement with ARM to license chip designs for making Apple Silicon chips. That goes past 2040, ahead of ARM's IPO.
Sony is making a $2,950 screenless, battery-less full-frame camera for drones, the ILX LR1, a full-frame mount camera for drone, remote and industrial use. Apple to acquire 50-year-old major classical music label, Swedish BIS Records. Malaysia lifts ban on Australian live cattle and buffalo imports after lumpy skin disease fears eased.
De facto ban lifted on building onshore wind farms in England, Saudi Arabia to extend voluntary cut of 1 million barrels per day, along with Russia, until the end of 2023. 13 tons of canisters collected after Notting Hill Carnival, as nitrous oxide, the inert laughing gas which used on inflating balloons and cake creams, to be made illegal by the end of 2023, Biden official says. Marijuana will likely to be rescheduled before the 2024 election. Saturday Post under review, as struggling Royal Mail looks to cut costs. First-class domestic mail, UK stamp to rise by 15p in October to £1.25. Vital services safe, said leader of bankrupt Birmingham Council. UK's second-largest city, Birmingham's council, declares itself bankrupt. Venice approves the entrance fee, from 2024, with a €5 entrance ticket.
The RFEF apologizes to the world of football and society as a whole. The governing body of football in Spain, the Royal Spanish Football Federation, RFEF, apologizes to the world of football for the inappropriate behavior of Mr. Luis Rubiales on the occasion of the Women's World Cup Final 2023.